This net meets each Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the Bristol Amateur Radio Club Fusion Room. The Mountain Empire Amateur Radio Society Room 40843 will serve as a backup should the Bristol room be down at net time. Getting a couple minutes of a late start. Our analog net actually ran right up to 9:30 tonight, so that's why we're getting in here a little bit late. So just as a reminder, if that net does run over, just hang with us a few minutes, and we're usually we'll be on this net as soon as we can. Whenever possible, recordings of this net are uploaded to the Bristol Amateur Radio Club's YouTube page and also broadcast live on the Bristol Amateur Radio Club Facebook group page. We're attempting to do that tonight. Facebook has changed their software around, and it seemed to work good earlier and is now being a bit of a pain, so I don't know if the live is going out, but I am recording it otherwise for YouTube later. We also have a webpage at qsl.net/TCME for Tri-Cities Mountain Empire. This net emanates from the Tri-Cities area consisting of counties in northeast Tennessee and the Mountain Empire of southwest Virginia. All amateurs are welcome to check in. The purpose of this net is to promote good fellowship among amateur radio operators, encourage the use of the Fusion digital mode, improve communication skills, and allow contacts outside the Tri-Cities and Mountain Empire area, and share technical information and comments with the group. We also run a NetLogger session. You can download NetLogger for free at netlogger. I lost it. I believe it's .org. I'll correct that in a minute, but if it's not, yeah, you can download the NetLogger program and follow along with us. At this time, we'll now begin taking check-ins from any stations. When checking in, please give your name, call, and location. If you just check in, we'll come back to you for comments. If you say that you're in and out, then we'll acknowledge your check-in and won't come back to you for comments. So any stations, please call now.
Net control K4 HQ 10 in gray, and I'll be in and out. Gotta go to sleep, go to work tomorrow.
Net control, check in Kilo 4, Bravo Papa Tango, Bill in Johnson City, in and out.
Whiskey 9er, Echo Alpha Alpha, first time check-in. Webster, Florida, I'm in and out.
In Hurricane, West Virginia, I'll be in and out.
Net control, please check in Kilo 8, Romeo Tango, Tim, at the Work QTH lunchtime here right now. I wanted to try to check in while I had a chance. Good evening to everyone on the net, and hope everybody's holding up here with everything that's going on. 7-3, KRT clear.
Kilo Foxtrot 4, Victor Quebec Alpha, KF4VQA. Jeff, Monroe, Georgia. Good evening, Adam. I'll be here.
Net control, this is Kilo 1, Whiskey Victor Alpha, Dave in West Virginia.
Net control, this is Alpha Bravo 6, Uniform India, Bill, near Los Angeles.
Net control, please check in KD4, CCO, Dallas, Bristol.
Net control, please check in N4XRD, Ralph in Chilhowie, Virginia. Good evening, everyone.
This is Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Lima, KE4WML, Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Lima, Bradley in Bristol, Virginia.
Net control, Kilo Whiskey 4 Alpha Golf, Denison Gate City.
Chicago Met, checking in and out.
Johnson City, thanks.
Golf Charlie in Fairplain, West Virginia. Net control. Net control, please check in. KV8, ZIO, Kilo Bravo 8, Zulu India Oscar, Charleston, West Virginia.
Okay, real quick, let me clear up a double here just to make sure. I know I got Chicago Matt in and out. Patrick, NE2P, were you in and out, or were you going to stay for comments?
I'll just be in and out now, thanks.
Okay, had you doubled up there, so I missed that part, so I just wanted to make sure. And everybody else, I think I had just in. So let me go ahead. Is there any other stations like to check in? Please call.
KD9 JSX, Tony, in and out. I will be listening.
Okay, let me run through the list that I've got here. First I had K4HQ, Ken in Gray, Tennessee, checked in and out. Thanks for checking in tonight, Ken. KK4BPT, Bill in Johnson City, in and out. Thanks for checking in, Bill. W9EAA, I've got you as Martin in Davenport, Iowa, checked in and out. Thanks for checking in. I believe you were first time check-in with us. And WD8L, we got us William in Hurricane, West Virginia. I believe this is the first time for you as well, and got you in and out. Thanks for checking in with us. And K8RRT, Tim in West Virginia, checked in and out. Appreciate you. The next station, next few will go back for comments, so let me just read those off. KF4VQA, Jeff. K1WVA, Dave in West Virginia. Jeff was in Georgia. AB6UI, Bill in California, and KD4CCO, Dallas in Virginia. N4XRD, Ralph in Virginia. KE4WML, Bradley in Virginia. And KW4AG, Dennis, also in Virginia. N9YBK, Chicago Matt, the name says where he's from, Chicago, Illinois. Got you in and out, man. Thanks for checking in tonight. And Patrick, NE2P, got you checked in and out, and thanks for checking in with us tonight. And we'll come back for comments with KE8LGC in West Virginia and KB8ZIO in West Virginia. And then our next in and out check-in was KD9JSX, Tony in Illinois. So thanks to each one of you for checking in. Are there any other stations that would like to check in before we start to run the list?
KD4 WMX, Kilo Delta 4 Whiskey Mike X-Ray.
Tom in Scott Depot, West Virginia.
Okay, we got KD4WMX, Ken in Virginia, and AB8RL, Tom in West Virginia. And my apologies, what I normally do before I start taking more check-ins is there anyone on the list that I didn't call out that you doubled with, like you tried to check in but doubled with someone else? Let's pick those up first. Is there anyone we missed on the list that might have doubled?
Net control. Net Control, did you copy KV8 ZIO?
Yeah, sure did. KV8ZIO, Scott, got you number 17 on the list.
Oh, did you copy K8LGB in Fairplain, West Virginia?
Other stations like to get on the list. Okay, we're going to do something a little bit different tonight for us as far as the check-ins. What we're going to do is I'm going to read the list here in a minute back over, and if you'll listen up for who comes after you, when you're done with your comments, just pass it on to that station. I will give a call and a name. For me, when I do this type of thing, I'm terrible at remembering calls, so I just call the name of the person that's coming up. However you want to do it, I'm going to stick in here in case you forget who's up next, and I can jump in and bail you out. I'm not going to use it as an opportunity to go to the bathroom or anything. But anyway, so that's how we're going to do that. Let me first, we'll go to our topic for tonight. I hold in my hand the envelope as a child of four can plainly see, and it's been hermetically sealed. It's been kept in a mayonnaise jar on Funkin' Wagnall's porch since noon today, and no one knows the contents, but I will, in my semi-divine and mystical way, reveal this question at this time. Tonight's question, tonight's topic, however you want to pose it, strictly optional as always, but with the virus issues going around, I don't necessarily want to talk about those per se, but what I would like to know is how has it affected you as far as your activity on amateur radio? Have you been stuck at home and got to get on the radio more often? Have you had to get out because of it and not got the radio? Or is it not affected you whatsoever? Maybe you're retired or something, and you're pretty much status quo. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and answer the question for myself, and then I'll run the list on this new format we're going to do. For me, I have been working my normal schedule. The virus thing has cut out a lot of activity, so I'm not working a lot of overtime. In fact, I'm probably going to have a straight check or whatever this pay period because I don't have any overtime opportunity. So technically, yes, I have been given more opportunity to be on the air. Let me reset. So over the weekend, I worked the Virginia QSO party and checked into some with some groups and did that kind of thing, and picked up on some radio activity. I also picked up on some hanging out with the kids activity and the wife and that kind of thing. I've kind of divided all that up, but it has picked up my radio activity because we're pretty much staying here at home, not going anywhere. So when the kids are taking naps or just bored in general and want to do things on their own, then I get on the radio. So yeah, my activity has picked up. So let me run through real quick. Up next, I will be passing it to KF4BQA Jeff. Jeff, you will be passing it to K1WVA Dave. Dave, you will be passing it to AB6UI Bill. Bill, you will be passing it to KD4 CCO Dallas. Dallas, you will be passing to N4XRD Ralph. Ralph, you will be passing to KE4WML Bradley. Bradley, you will pass it to KW4AG Dennis. Dennis, you will pass it to KE8LGC Ed or Edward in West Virginia is how it came up there. I'll have to clarify that. Ed, you would be passing it to KB8ZIO Scott. Scott, you would pass it to KD4WMX Ken, and Ken, the tail gunner tonight will be Tom ABARL, who you will pass it to. Again, I will, any confusion or snafus with that, I'll be here to kind of guide it along, but that's how we'll try to do it. So.
net control, do I have AF4VQA?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I liked your opening statement, hermetically sealed, and then reminded me of the Johnny Carson, the great Karnak, knows all, tells all. That was good. And good morning. I mean, not good morning. Good evening to everybody else here on the net. Good to hear you. And for me, I'm retired, so it's status quo for me on with the Hobby Ham Radio. But I have been studying Morse code again. I haven't touched it in, I don't know, 15 years. So a couple of us in a local repeater got the itch, and some of the new hams, so they got me motivated. So been messing around with Morse code. Got the whole alphabet, numbers, a couple punctuations and Q codes down. Been listening to some words on the internet, at anywhere from 10 to 15 words a minute, and still working on that. But anyway, I'm enjoying it. And so, anyways, that's about it for me. And Adam, stay safe out there, brother. Like I told you before, I'm retired law enforcement too. I know you're active now, so but just be safe and keep all the first responders in our prayers. So with that, I'll pass it to Dave. I think the call sign was W1VA. Not sure, but go ahead, Dave. Sorry if I messed up the call sign. This is KF4VQA.
Okay, this is Kilo 1, Whiskey Victor Alpha. The name is Dave, Delta Alpha Victor Echo. Location is Clarksburg, West Virginia, land of the free, home of the brave. And I'm also retired, and my radio activity is maybe picked up slightly. If this lasts very long, it'll keep picking up every day, I'm afraid. First time checking in on the net, so that's about all I have from Clarksburg, West Virginia. So I'll turn it over to Alpha Bravo 6 Uniform India. Bill, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. And it's the same for me. My first time checking into the net, and maybe that speaks volumes to say yes, my radio activity has definitely picked up during this crisis. Although I am retired, been retired since not that long, since 2013. Involved in a lot of outside activities. I volunteer with a lot of groups and this and that, and all that is called off. So I find myself kind of stuck at home more, and always like to talk to people, and so getting on the radio is definitely a good way to do that. So really excited to be able to be a part of the net, and great hearing your guys' voices out there. So other than that, we'll pass it back over to Dallas. KD4 Charlie Oscar, I believe it was. Take it from AB6UI.
Well, for some reason, I don't see the signal getting through to 443. Are you copying me okay?
This is N4XRD. I don't know what happened to Dallas there, but thought I'd jump in there and get a turn before the net went quite too long. I'm in Chilhowie, Virginia. That's about 40 miles from Bristol, Virginia, Tennessee, where Dallas is located. My activity on the radio has definitely been interesting. I usually participate in several activities every day and listen for several hours a day. And I find myself listening a little bit more now because the nets are so busy. And I really haven't done much talking DX or anything, but hope to do some more of that. And heard someone mention code activity. Hope to have more time doing that, because when I came home today, I came up the road and saw my house and smiled and chuckled a little bit and said, I'm home. because I do plan on staying home for a while after a one hectic week at work trying to shut the office down. So definitely more activity here, and I'll try to pass it back to Dallas there, KD4CCO. If not, Bradley, KE4WML, figure it up.
This is KD4CCO. I apologize to everybody on the net. Apparently my radio switched over to analog mode and I didn't realize it, so I was transmitting in analog mode, and that does not work with wires X in this particular setup. So anyway, I think we got it cleared up for now. To turn the EMS off to force it to stay on wires X fusion. Not much going on over here, but I will comment on the fact that, well, I'm retired as well. Been retired since 2013. And I've spent a little bit more time monitoring the local repeaters because we had a sort of a fusion, well, it wasn't a fusion net, it was a virus net, I guess you could say, where we were had a designated time where we would get on the air and see if there was anything we needed to bring up, or if anybody needed any assistance, or just anything that needed to be talked about. So we've done that, although not every day has it worked out. Seems like everybody's been pretty busy in spite of the fact that they're staying home, and I've been the same. So anyway, I will say 73s, and I'll turn it back to net control. No, I won't either. I'm going to turn it over to KE4 WML. Bradley, go ahead.
Yeah, hey Dallas, Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Lima, Bradley and Bristol. Thanks for letting me in, guys. Good to hear everybody on the net. I didn't catch the topic of tonight. Net control, could you come back and tell me what the topic is?
Yeah, sure thing. Oops, had a radio turned up in the background. I could hear myself. We were just asking if the current situation in the country with the virus, that kind of thing, has ramped up your activity on amateur radio. In other words, are you having to quarantine and not go to work, that kind of thing? And are you getting on the radio more often because of it, or how's it affecting you in that respect?
Well, I've been off work since the end of November, and I'm trying to change subgenres of my job. Some people know, some people don't. I'm a surgical tech in the operating room at Bristol Regional, and I moved on from that job and went into something, or tried to move into something a little more lucrative, pay off some bills, be in better position retirement if I live that long. But as a whole, on the face of it, I have not increased my usage, because since I've been off work, I've been on here a whole lot. And if you don't believe me, just ask the guys over on QSO America. They're gracious enough to let me use it whenever I wanted to, and I kind of felt like I overstayed my welcome some, so I've been trying to ease off of that some. But I have had a little too much time on my hands, and for the love of ham radio, or the love of ham radio in my life, it's hard not to. But so has the shelter in place changed the way I radio? No. But from a different perspective, my radio usage has gone exponentially higher than what it used to be, because I've not been at work every day. So that's about all I have. I will pass it now to Dennis, my good radio compadre that I try to keep up with every day. KW4AG, pick it up, KE4WML. Thanks, Net Control, and everybody else listening.
good evening, everybody on the net. Yeah, my use of radios has not really changed a lot. I'm still going to and from work and just spend a lot of time in the truck and do a lot of mobile radio as well as here at home. So really hasn't increased or decreased a whole lot. So about the same as it's always been. Went over to KB8. I forget the call sign. West Virginia station there. Go ahead, KAW4AG.
Yeah, the next station up was KE8LGC. Of course, on the database comes up as Edward, but if you'll let us know what you go by, we will, if you're still there, we'll put that in the net logger, and that's what we'll call you from now on.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Net control, this is Kilo Echo 8 Lima Golf Bravo. Lima Golf Charlie. And I've just been tinkering around the house on the radios, and I got the radio in the mail about 2 weeks ago, and as of Friday I put an antenna up and wire, which gave me, I can get X wire, and actually things been pretty normal. This is KE8 LGC. I'll be back out, net control.
Okay, next was KB8ZIO, Scott, and then you would pass it to KD4WMX Ken, and then AB8RL Tom. Go ahead, Scott.
Thank you, and hello everyone on the net. This is Scott, KB8ZIO. I've been on the radio just about every morning for almost 6 months, doing about the same thing. I'll have the Wires X radio on one, and then the D-Star on the other. My Linko 610, I was able to monitor 2 frequencies, so then I'd have the Peanut and Zello on. I think my Nitro High School math came out with 6 radios or so, and then the cell phone. I've been on the radio on all them frequencies, just trying to talk to whomever I can. But the best thing about, well, I'm not going to say there's anything good about this virus, except for it has brought the ham radio operators back to the radio. And I've made several contacts today. I think 14 different QSOs, including this one. 2 of them was, one was from Puerto Rico, and the other one, I forgot where it was, Indonesia. I know that doesn't really count for any points or anything in DX land, but you know what? It's tickled me to death. And as I spoke on one of the other net, I'm coming to you from my brand new 991A, and I'm just so, you've heard the expression tickled pink? Well, I'm tickled plaid. That's how happy I am. I'm just having a blast with it. It's got a lot of bells and whistles I've still got to learn. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to you, Ken. 73's to all. After Tom speaks, I'm going to go to bed.
Well, thank you. This is KD4WMX in Quiet Low Dive, and I'm like Dallas. Radio a little bit more, but especially with the virus net, or whatever we call it. It's just something that we do in the afternoon about 5:30 on analog to see if there's anything new that anybody needs to know, or anybody needs any help, or any that sort of thing. But other than that, I've been on vacation. But I'll be back at work Monday, or actually Sunday, because I'll volunteer in Damascus. But so I start back at work Sunday. But so I don't get any time off unless I take a vacation. So in my line of work, it's never any fun. It's more headache. As I tell people, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of this virus going around. But with that, I'll say 73 to everybody, and have a good rest of the week, and I'll turn it over to AB4 ABL Tom.
Okay, I believe it's AB8RL, Alpha Bravo 8 Radio Lima. Good evening, everyone. And let's see, I'm retired since last year, and I got more time on my hands. I have already been fairly active during the daytime, off and on. I already have about 1,100 contacts in the log since January. Participated in a few contests, and you know, you get on FT8 and make 5-10 contacts a day. They add up pretty quickly. Told my XYL this evening, I said, I've been so busy today, I didn't have a chance to even get on the radio. So this situation, it certainly allows us a good out when you need something to do. But today I didn't have time to mess with it. But tomorrow's a new day, and some new things to look forward to for sure. So with that, we'll say 73s, and say good evening to everybody. Hope everyone has a good rest of the week. And 4NT, I think it's your turn, AB8RL.
All right, this is N4NC. You all did a bang-up job with that format. I borrowed that from the nets over on QSO America, where Chicago Matt routinely participates and sometimes coordinates and all that kind of stuff. And I think it went really well, and it saved us a chunk of time, so maybe it'll encourage more folks to check in if we don't run as late without my big mouth in between each person's check-in. I think it does trim the time down a little bit and runs pretty smooth. So you all did great, and I greatly appreciate it. With that, I will have a quick word from our pseudo sponsor. If the FCC is doing like the police department I work for, and we're hiring millennials, pseudo means fake. We're not being paid to operate amateur radio. So our pseudo sponsor tonight is a place called Almond Dingers, burgers, fries, and chicken fingers. They'll serve you fat, they'll serve you sugar. Everything else will taste like boogers, Almond Dingers. All right, with that, we will now take check-ins from any other stations that would like to check in. Please call now.
Net control, KE8LJL.
And 6VL.
Okay, picked up a couple check-ins there. Looks like first-time check-ins. I always just go by what QRZ says. It comes up for the name. If you're like me, I go by my middle name. So if I need to correct that, let me know, and we will put in the box what you go by and call you that for future nets. But for now, I have KE8LGL Pendle in West Virginia and N6VL Stephen in California. Are there any other stations that would like to check in? All right, let's go back for some comments. If you're just joining us, a couple of things. We're starting a new format, so what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to call on KE8LJL for comments. And Pendle, when you get done, I'll have you pass it to N6VL Stephen. I always give the call and the name. That way, if you forget the call, usually the name rolls off. That's how it works for me. And then, Stephen, you're the tail gunner at the moment, so when you make your comments, you'll just pass it back to me, and we'll go for some more check-in. We do have a topic of the night, and basically what we're asking is, with the virus that's going around, has it put you in a situation to up your level of amateur radio activity? Are you more active on amateur radio because maybe you can't get out and do some of the things you normally do? So we'll throw that question first to KE8LJL. Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody on the net. And I go by my middle name, which is Ronnie. Pendle, my first name was actually my dad's best friend's name. And, you know, I was surprised coming along, so he named me after him. But that's beside the point. I keep a little handheld, well, I keep a little Baofeng with me on my work truck. I work for an ambulance company, so I have not missed any work since this whole ordeal has started. But, so, I've been just as active as normal.
Okay, Ronnie, if you can hear us, I've updated the name, and you dropped out on us. I'll check back with you in a moment to make sure if there's any additional comments, but we'll go ahead and turn it to Stephen N6VL. Okay, we lost a couple notes, and I wasn't looking at the screen to see which one, so that might be a common issue for both of them. Never know. So what we'll do from here, we'll go ahead and see if there's any more check-ins, and then we'll give another opportunity for any additional comments. Make sure those guys get their chance. Any other stations like to check in, please call now.
Kilo Echo 8 Lima, Australia is AM Fairplane. I would like to know right at the net control comment.
Okay, looks like we're in the twilight of the net here, so we'll go ahead and turn it back to you, sir, for comments. Go ahead.
This is Kilo Echo 8 Lima, Charlie. I'm Eddie. I live in Fairplane, West Virginia. And what I have been doing with ham radios since the virus outbreak is I've been staying home using the radios, and I also read a lot of ARRL books on amateur radio. And 2 weeks ago, I got a new radio that made it pretty exciting, so I've been busy with it. And now we got, I got Wire X now, thanks to you all. And that'll be all back to net control. This is KE8LGC, back to net.
Okay, Eddie, thanks for the comments there, and yeah, we're certainly blessed to have the hobby that we're in, and be able to reach out and communicate, and not have to worry about transmitting any viruses to each other or anything like that. And Wires X has certainly made it even more possible. If you can't find someone to talk to locally, you can always find somebody to talk to somewhere. I always say worst case scenario, you can get on American Link, and I'm joking. I'm not being critical. It's just a busy place, and sometimes, especially if you're out away from your node, it's hard to get back in there and change your node to something else because it stays active. But that's a good problem to have, though. I won't complain about that at all. And there's other moderately busy nodes like QSO American, Yard Dogs, and some of the others. So there's usually a place to find somebody to talk to. Alright, are there any other stations that would like to check in? Please call now.
November 8, Victor Tango Uniform, NAVTU.
Okay, that recognizes N8BTU. That comes up as Thomas on the database. If you go by Tom or something different, just let me know and I'll make that update. And that's how you'll come up from now on our net. We're going to go ahead and turn it over to you for comments real quick. In case you're just joining us, our topic of the night is we're just asking folks how much has your amateur radio activity picked up, if it has, because of the current situation going on in the country. So if you'll go ahead with your comments.
Back to QSL. I'll say hello to everybody on the net, first of all, and I do go by my middle name as well. It is Scott, Sierra, Charlie, Oscar, Tango, Tango. And as far as my amateur radio activity is pretty much the same because my routine has not changed. I actually work 2 full-time jobs and 3 days on one, 3 days on the other, 6 days a week. So, and both of them are considered essential, so I'm still working both jobs. Back to net control.
Okay, Scott, well, we've got that updated, so that's how you'll come up from now on our NetLogger session. We do run NetLogger. It's netlogger.org, by the way. I got confused earlier whether I was right about that, but it is netlogger.org. It is a free download, and it's pretty handy to follow along with us. And I know one gentleman had mentioned there earlier about being a first responder, and I think he was new to the net as well. So anybody first responders on the net tonight, you're in good company. There's a few of us on here, EMTs and so forth, and I work as I've been a firefighter and an EMT in the past, and currently a police officer. So as I well know, jobs like ours, the status quo is pretty much we do that. We got to work regardless. Now it has obviously changed the way that we do our jobs and some of the things, but they're still there, and that's from talking to some other people who have been not so fortunate. You kind of realize how blessed you are. Despite having to take the precautions we do because of what's going around. All right, that brings me to the bottom of the list. Are there any other stations that would like to check in? Okay, and of course this includes the couple of stations we had check in there that might have dropped off, but we're going to open it up. Is there anyone that's on the list that would like to make comments that either didn't get to or has made comments and wants to make others? Anyone else have anything for the net before we close?
This is AB8RL for comment.
AB8RL, go ahead, Tom.
Okay, thank you, Adam. I just wanted to make the notice here that on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. we have the West Virginia Fusion Digital Net. It's in room 46488, 46488, which is West Virginia link, WV link, and everyone's invited. That's Thursdays at 8 p.m. So thank you very much, Adam. Had a great net tonight. AB8RL.
Okay, Tom, thanks for mentioning that. And yeah, local folks, the 146.670 repeater that some of you are hearing me on will be connected to that net tomorrow night. We typically do that on every Thursday except for when we have the Bristol Club meeting, and because the times will overlap a little bit there, and we're actually going to have our for the Bristol Radio Club folks that are monitoring, we're going to have our monthly club meeting on the air on the FM side of our repeater at the first Thursday of next month. All right, anyone else have anything else for the net? Okay, just a reminder also for the local folks, the 443.000 will have their FM net tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. And over on the 146.67 repeater on the Fusion side, we will connect to the Yard Dogs room, room 40383, also at 9 o'clock for their technical net. The local people, it is certainly possible to check into both nets. I do it. The Yard Dogs usually runs a little bit longer. And so you can usually kind of get in and out on the 443 and come over and join that one as well. So or if you're like me, I usually have a couple radios up and keep an ear toward both of them. But that's, I started as a dispatcher, so I developed that split ear technique. All right, with that being said, we had a total number of 23 check-ins tonight, and 6 states represented, and I believe tonight was the first time that California was represented, and not only was it represented once, but twice. So thank you all. I haven't kept a record of it or anything, but we did have some Canadian stations check in before, but I would say you all would win the distance award over them. But I didn't really jot it down or keep up with it, but I would venture to say that would be a fact. At one time we had 16 nodes connected with us. And we didn't have any stations outside the USA check-in tonight, so just one country represented. I want to say thank you to each one of you for taking the time to check into the net. I will mention that the Facebook Live broadcast under the new stuff that you're doing did fail, so I'm going to work on that and try to fix that. However, you can listen to this net again in its entirety over on the Bristol Amateur Radio Club YouTube page. It may not be uploaded tonight. It'll probably be tomorrow sometime that I'll get that uploaded, but you can listen. So if you want to hear how your audio sounds, there's an opportunity. With that, this is N4NT closing the Tri-City Mountain Empire Fusion net at 10:20 p.m. 7-3 and good night.
Yeah, so what's that American League net? Was that on a Thursday or a Tuesday?
The West Virginia link net will be on Thursday at 8 o'clock. And their room number is 46488. I had to look that up real quick, but it's Thursday at 8 o'clock, room 46488. It's a really good net. Some of the folks that check in over here will be over there. N4NT.